So another day and another day of me being pleasantly surprised with what I am seeing in training camp from Justine Pascual. Like, it's looking, I would be surprised. It's at the stage where I would be kind of surprised if she's not that she makes a day one team, but if they don't match something for her. Because if you've looked at some of the defensive clips, so Scott Agnes has basically been recording basically everything from the training camp. So I'll show you some of the footage here. So obviously a lot of what they've been doing is defense. So a lot of this is defense. And some of these are just small rotational drills. And the fact is that she's obviously playing in whatever positions they are in these drills, and the fact she's huge helps. That helps, but they are going into some 5v5 defensive drills. And one thing that's really kind of impressive, and it's something that you haven't seen from certain players, is that if you listen, you can hear she is at the back. When she is playing at the back, she is communicating. Let's take a listen. In every single time there is an action, she is engaged. She is calling switches. Which, by the way, like, that is for me the difference between her and KK, is that KK is freaking lost out there. Like KK is more athletic. Significantly more athletic. Significantly faster on her feet. But you're seeing her playing as a big defender at the basket, being a vocal presence, which is something that matters. And like these are kind of important things to see in clips when it comes down to it with defensive communication. Because defensive communication matters. No matter what anyone says, defensive communication, especially, again, if you're somebody who's not the quickest on their feet, and whose one flaw, by the way, is defense. Nobody said there's going to be a flaw offensively with Justine Pascual. People were talking about the defense, like defense could be an issue. But like, I'm sorry, if I'm going to be real here. If a player has elite length, is switched on and communicates well, they will be a good defender. At some different stage in their career, they will be a good defender. I've never seen a person who has had elite dimensions, is switched on and like communicates well, being such a bad defender they can't be on the floor. And by the way, she's fucking huge. Like, I think that needs to be said. She's huge. So I'm really interested to see again when it comes to Pascual on the defensive end, how she gets on in preseason. Because, like, I'm sorry, she's so large. Like, these are not easy passes to throw. Just like because everything is, she's not ready defensively. I'm sorry, she probably will be a good defensive coach like Breanna. She probably is a good defensive coach. She probably will be a good defensive player by the end of this season. And like this scenario here, by the way, this rotation is very odd. So the switch has happened. There is no reason, by the way, for KK Timpson to be... They're actually in position right now on defense. There is no reason for KK Timpson to run this switch because these are two bigs. These are two bigs. There is no reason for KK to switch this. And Raven Johnson is like having to run and switch onto the other big. Like, there is no need for that switch. But look, they're playing a scramble defense, and all that matters in a scramble defense is that when it's all said and done, everyone is being covered, or it's a tough job for the offensive team, and they're getting a tough look. But like, from every one of these clips that I'm looking at, I'm like, okay. The Indiana Fever have a freaking player on their hands. They have a player on their hands. And by the way, Raven Johnson appears to be, I'm not saying she's any sort of like Raven Johnson level defender, because Raven Johnson is like an exceptional defender. Like, she is an exceptional defender. I'm saying Justine Pascual projects to be a passable defender. And with her projecting to be a passable defender, it makes the fact that she is a 6'4", 45% three-point shooter who shoots well contested and has one of the purest jump shots in the league. Like, that is one of those things where, yeah, it does matter. It does matter having a three-point shooter that's 6'4" and projects to be a good defender. She's much longer than Katie Lou. And already, like, doesn't appear to be any, like, I think she moves as fluidly as Katie Lou. It's genuinely just it's one of those things where, like, she is one of the highest upside players. And I would say, again, I put her in a similar boat to how I felt about KK Timpson last year, where I genuinely believed with KK that because of her dimensions, because of her athleticism, because of her wingspan, you cannot let this player walk for nothing. You cannot let KK Timpson just leave for nothing. Like, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Because I was literally like, look, Jaylen Brown, we know she's not going to be good. And by the way, Jaylen Brown probably would have done more for the Fever than KK Timpson did last year. But Jaylen Brown didn't have that upside. Even though I don't think I don't know if KK is going to realize that potential. She might realize that potential in 2 to 3 years. But as of right now, she's not at the level needed. And for all we know, again, Justine Pascual might not reach that potential. But her dimensions, her three-point shot, and the fact is that it's very clear that her court awareness is there. This is not a dumb player. Or at least this is not a player who doesn't communicate. And that is a big one. That is a really big one. So anyway, yeah, that is the video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Yes, this is another video just talking about Justine Pascual, because a lot of the footage we're seeing from training camp is from the bench lineup, and it's one of those things where it's like we're only really seeing defense from the bench lineup. And like, we all know, no matter what, like, we all know that what's her name? Raven Johnson's a good defender. So I don't need to make a video talking about Raven Johnson looking good on defense. We all know Raven Johnson's good on defense. The fact is that there is a player that appears to be, like, in the WNBA draft, people are like, 24 teams passed on her. And the thing is that there's no combine. So a lot of people are lying about height. If she could have been 6'1" for all teams knew. She could have been 6'1". Like, Anissa Morrow is about 5'10". She looked 6'1" in college. No one questioned that. She could have been 6'1", didn't have much defense, and then she gets drafted and you see her with players and it turns out that she has Stewie dimensions. Like, she is 6'4" with probably a near 7-foot wingspan. And you're like, okay, had that been known, had there been a damn combine, like with the WNBA draft pick at a combine, like if you've got a 6'4" player with a 7-foot wingspan who probably would have won all the shooting drills, you better believe if there was a combine, she's going first round. But anyway, yeah, that's the video. And by first round, I mean like 14, 15, 16, like Neepkins-ish range. But anyway, yeah, that's the video. See you guys.